Anyway, welcome to the industry. We're really glad to have Simeon Farrar with us today, being interviewed by denim queen Donna Ida. So I'm going to hand it over.
Good evening. Hi there. For anyone who doesn't know me, I'm Donna Ida, and this is my very good friend Simeon Farrar.
Hello.
Who is the artist and fashion designer that we all know and love. Now, you're an artist primarily.
Yes.
So you went to art school. You're officially an artist.
Well, I think of myself as an artist, but I don't. But I do various things. So I've always had a problem describing myself as a fashion designer or a designer because I don't feel like it. So it's always just like I've always felt like an artist, even though I'm in a different industry now.
How did you actually get there, though? What made you say, okay, I'm going to start printing on T-shirts, or
I think I just started putting painting onto T-shirts as a different surface than the canvas. So I would. It seemed like a more of a versatile surface to paint on, as from a kind of art point of view, because you could go all around it, and then it wasn't just limited by the square, and then somebody would wear it, so it would have a life beyond me. But then, of course, I soon found out that it's easier to sell a T-shirt than a painting. It's kind of weird. I felt like, do you remember that program, Faking It?
Yeah.
Where I felt like I was on Faking It all
Imposter
the time.
syndrome. I've got imposter syndrome.
Really?
Someone's going to come and tap me on the shoulder and go, what the hell do you think you're doing?
Yeah, you've been rumbled.
Yeah.
I feel like that all the time. And the deeper I get into the industry, I feel like that more, because I feel like I'm undercover and I'm getting way too deep, that kind of thing.
No, and so, but you've got some pretty big stockers. I mean, you've got the best in the world. You've got Harrods, Liberty, Collage in Paris. I mean, that's like no small thing. So, how did you get in there? I mean, I think that's a question that I kind of want to know.
Because I didn't know anything about the industry, there's massive gaps when you first start, and so I didn't know anything about. I'd never heard of any of the shops. I mean, I knew the London shops, but anything past Harrods, Liberties, Harvey Nicks, I didn't know anything about them.
So you just went for those guys because that's who knew.
Yeah, they were just the most visible at the time. But then I remember making up a whole bunch of T-shirts in my studio, and then just putting them in a suitcase. And I remember seeing this shop called Voyage on Conduit Street, which looked pretty crazy. It looked like the kind of place that my stuff might fit, but I knew nothing about it. So I remember just going in there with this old suitcase and just saying, what do you think of these? And they really liked them, and they bought them. And I remember first seeing them hanging in the window for crazy prices and just thinking, blimey, that's one hell of a markup on that.
Yeah. So then there was Kate Mouse, which was fantastic, got so much press support.
Yeah.
We absolutely loved it, customers loved it. And whatnot. Did you say that? Is that when things like there was like another step change? Then is that when it sort of took off again?
Was. Yeah, just because that was a kind of a big sea change for the brand, because we hadn't done anything quite comical or that kind of blatant before. Yeah. I was working on drawings for a nursery rhyme theme.
Yeah.
And so I'd drawn two mice. I just looked through magazines and I literally just saw a picture of Kate Moss and just thought that would be good. But I wasn't using it as her. It was just like, that's a good pose. Yeah. So I drew her face, put the ears on, whiskers, scratched her eyes out, and then just to save it on Photoshop, I saved it as Kate Mouse. And then as I typed that, I was just like, genius. That's brilliant.
And so for you then, is that kind of where then Black Score started to emerge? So Black Score is your other label, which is now the sort of, so it's a keener price point. It's much more sort of risque. Do you feel like that's where Black Score started to really come out? Yeah,
we did a lot of stuff. After that Kate Mouse thing, I did a lot more stuff like that. And it was kind of dividing the label, because it didn't really, the more in depth I went into those kind of ideas, the less it fitted with the rest of the Simeon Farrar label. So I found that really good fun. I really wanted to get into that. So I thought I'd just start another label where I could just go to town on those kind of drawings. There's a big fashion for this kind of thing, appropriating big brands. And I didn't start that. I'm literally responding to that. So it's kind of a grey area. Like in the Chanel letter, they kind of described why, they explained to me why it's illegal. And I totally agreed with them.
When we see something, we love it. Like you'll see something, the shows, the Burberry show, and you've got to wait 6 months for it. And Tamara Mellon with her new brand, she's talked about fashion fatigue in terms of that you've had it in your head for so long. Where do you think fashion's going in terms of like what Tamara's doing now with her new label? That sort of there's much shorter production runs, much quicker delivery times, sort of buy now, wear now.
When I first started it, I got really bored of the whole seasonal thing of Simeon Farrar. And so Black Score was kind of developed to have no themes and just to be whatever idea I had. It was just literally like a brainstorm. So my ideas just come out on T-shirts. So so we can react to things, and I think that's quite good. To be able to react really quickly is something that a lot of companies can't do because their production is it's like turning a ship around. They have to. It takes so long, and then
the ideas often pass sometimes as well.
Yeah, and with something like the D&G, in 6 months' time, nobody's going to want to wear that T-shirt.
Yeah, they've been in and out.
Yeah, exactly.
One for all.
They'll have appealed and they'll have gone.
So my question is, when that first time you started coming up with those ideas about Chanel and what have you, did no one say to you, you're going to get in trouble for this? Or did you know that really deep down somewhere and that was part of the point?
Well, I did know deep down. First of all, I wasn't going to sell them. I made them just to give away. They were just for that Fashion Week stunt, so they were just to give away. I didn't know, at the time I thought if I'm giving them away, then I'm not profiting from, like financially profiting from their brand, so it must be okay. So I did go into it like that. But then having said that, they were so popular that I did start selling them afterwards.
There's a gradual falling.
It was a gradual ignoring of my knowledge of law. So yeah, in retrospect, we were very lucky, but because they could have shut us down totally. So I figured for the brand to get anywhere, you have to take some risks, and that's kind of on that kind of line. That's where you do some good work on that kind of when you're straddling that line of these probably shouldn't be sold, but you've got to sell them and give it a go. And loads of people have done it before me and got away with it, so I figured I'd chance it as well.
So big thank you to Donna and Simeon.